Greetings and salutations all, I.S. Anderson here once again with my long-awaited review of Hell House by Richard Matheson. The story of Hell House centers around four characters who are hired to enter a house and find out if there actually is a life after death. Leading the team is Dr. Lionel Barrett, a physicist with a background in parapsychology. Barrett is joined by three others, his wife Edith and two mediums. One is Benjamin Fisher, who is a physical medium, and he is actually the only person to have ever survived going into the Hell House. And the fourth person is another medium named Florence Tanner, who is a mental medium, who is very spiritualist. In order to determine if there is life after death, they are hired to go into what has been regarded as the most haunted house in the world, the Mount Everest of haunted houses, if you will, the house of Emmerich Belasco. Emmerich Belasco built the house and invited many people over to his house to be guests in his house. And they did such things as, partying, alcohol, drugs, and then he would challenge them to increasing levels of depravity. Eventually this increased to sex and eventually rape, murder, and even cannibalism. As they enter the house, Florence already detects that there is a spiritual presence there, and a malignant one. In fact, she believes that there are several there that are still in the house, held there by Emmerich Belasco. As the four continue to investigate the house begins to have an effect on them mentally and physically. They start to become mentally unhinged, they start hallucinating, and eventually paranormal activity ensues. Voices are heard throughout the house, things start moving on their own, and even a cat starts to attack them. Fans of the horror genre definitely should read this book. Richard Matheson, he has written other horror books such as I Am Legend, so he is very experienced with this, and this is definitely a must-read for horror fans. Other people who can at least tolerate horror or aren't afraid to read horror books should probably read this one as well. I do give it my 5-star rating. Incidentally, there is a movie called The Legend of Hell House, which is based on the book, and actually does, fit to it fairly accurately. It's a pretty good adaptation. The screenplay was written by Richard Matheson himself, so there you go. Some of the things in the movie were left out. One example is in the book, Barrett, he has polio in one of his legs, and that does sort of affect him. In the movie they cut that out, but I think in the movie that was probably a good decision. Also, I do highly recommend that you read the book before you watch the movie, because there is more that happens in the book, and some things in the movie are going to confuse you, like why is she being so scared here, unless you've read the book and you know why exactly she's scared. And one side note, never, ever, 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 ever consent to having sex with a ghost. Because you think they need a body to do that, so where exactly are they going to get that body? Possession? You should be so lucky. So that is my review of the book Hell House by Richard Matheson, and if you're a horror fan, you seriously should check it out. And even if you're not, it'd probably still be a pretty good read. It's a pretty interesting read. As always, my pertinent contact information will be down below in the abyss. As always, please comment, rate, subscribe. You know the drill. And it's getting close to Halloween. Hope everybody's ready. And until next time, this is I.S. Anderson telling everybody, make your lives grand and have a good day. Thank you very much.